It was really funny because we actually,
Like the city.
yeah.
Perfect kind of rap.
Yeah.
We're gonna definitely win tonight.
Yeah, my name is Bilal Dawson. As for what I do, I kind of do like a lot of different things. I mostly what I'm known for, I'd say, is for Instagram. So I make various different comedic sketches, whether or not that's like fan-made trailers, Toronto-based content, just really random stuff sometimes. I also am getting into acting, so I'll be doing auditions here and there. You might see me in a 1-2 commercial coming up soon. I also do music videos, so I've directed a couple different music videos, whether or not that's R&B, rap, even like indie music, stuff like that. So how I would describe myself, I'd like to think that I'm just a very creative person, and I like to take on a lot of different creative ventures, whether or not that be photography, video, stand-up, which I've done once, but I am allowed to call myself a stand-up comedian if I've done it once, I feel like. So there's a lot of different things, man. I just overall like to say that I have a creative mind, and I'm trying to capitalize off that, yeah. So first off, shout out Hamilton. I actually, the first thing that brought me to Toronto was I went to York, so that's kind of like the main thing that brought me there. As for schooling, there wasn't any other place I really wanted to go besides Toronto, because as far as cities go, that to me is the city where everything's going on. I could have went to Vancouver because I feel like that would have been a second choice, but that was a little too far away from home, you know? So when I was in Hamilton, I always took trips down to Toronto, and I've always loved it each time. As far as creative people go and just the culture of Toronto, Toronto is like the hub where everything happens. So it was one of those things where I want to be in the action. I want to be where everything's happening. So Toronto was definitely the move to go for me. And I don't know how you guys found out I was in cinema and media studies. Do I talk about this? I was gonna say, where'd you guys find this stuff? Where'd you guys find this? Because when I read that, I was like, man, how'd they know this stuff? So for me, I can go on a rant, because I go on a rant about school like all the time. But for when it comes to artistic kind of stuff, I feel like certain things definitely require school. If you want to be a doctor, you gotta go to school. For arts, whether or not that's film, being a photographer, being a painter, I feel like that just takes real life applications, right? Like to be a filmmaker, I don't want to, even though you need to talk about film and you need to understand the basics of film, at the end of the day, you need to actually have a camera in your hand and you actually have to do it. And so for me, with cinema and media studies, it wasn't even film production. So we had a film production course where it was more catered towards making the films, but I was in the program where we just sat around for a 4-hour lecture, we watched a movie for 2 hours, and then we talked about it for 2 hours. I can go watch movies at home. I got Netflix, I got torrents, I can stream that, right? And I feel like for me, it was more so that, it's like, imagine if I want to be a football player and I'm in school being like a sportscaster. You know what I mean? I don't want to, why am I studying something about the application? Like with what I was going to do, I would have went on to be like a film theorist or a film teacher. So I ended up talking to a lot of like my professors, like people who I really respected, like my production planning teacher. And she told me, she was like, listen, if you want to get a degree, the best thing is you can kind of work for someone, right? You can go hand in your resume, but when in the film industry, you gotta hand them a portfolio. And after I'm done university, I have nothing but essays to show. I don't have any actual films that I'm showing, any actual acting reels or anything like that. So at that time when we went through the strike, I went through a very like serious like mind state where I felt like school, like the school system wasn't really like, didn't care for us, you know? Like we were just another number to them, you know? So I decided to take a step away from that. My Instagram stuff was just getting to the point where it was starting to work out. Decided to take a leap of faith, and then, yeah, that was a year ago, and now here we are. Yeah, so around the same time that I decided to get out of university, I also decided to create my own production company. And what we do is mostly it caters to music videos, photography, a lot of ads for companies for their social media, because I kind of understand the analytics and how to kind of create a short minute clip and be able to do that for advertisements. Honestly, what it is the vision is like the vision, and it's kind of a play on the word. So it's like, what's your vision? And ever since I kind of did that, it's nice to separate kind of my personal life and my business life, right? Because a lot of people, when they see me and I do a lot of comedic videos and a lot of crazy stuff, people might not actually see me in the professional kind of sense. They see me as just a comedy guy, someone who just jokes around and doesn't take the stuff seriously. So it was nice to kind of take my face away from that work and be able to have like a company and more of a team and a collective, so that people can kind of take me more seriously for my business aspect of stuff. See, I still feel like I'm on the come up of things that I want to accomplish. You know what I mean? So for me to say that it happened overnight, it doesn't feel that way at all. To me, I'm a very impatient person. So to me, this seems slow, low key. You know what I mean? I expect everything to be like incremental, and I expect everything to kind of be working on a tier. So when I made like my one video for This Is Canada, when that kind of popped, and that was like probably my first viral video, did I expect it to get to that status? In no way did I expect that. But I did expect for every video to kind of do just a little better. So whether or not that's 10 views or 100 views, or even if it's just increasing in following or people sending it, I imagine that my numbers would slowly go up. And so, yeah, I'm still working on that slow staircase, building the way up. As for whether or not I want to take like risk, do you mean like riskier videos?
Yeah, like, 'cause I mean, in terms of comedic stuff.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So I feel like this is still an issue that I'm dealing with right now, because I feel like I live on the line of like going too far and then kind of keeping it safe. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure that out, because I feel like as your audience grows, you have to kind of be careful with what you say, because sometimes not only can that past be used against you, because you see stuff like Kevin Hart, or you see stuff like literally, bare times people are bringing up the past tweets of some stuff you say. So imagine some of the videos I've made for someone to bring that up and then use that against me. It's a possibility at this point, right? So I have to be safe, but at the same time, I don't want to sacrifice what I find funny and what I find to be comedic or what I find to be artistic and jeopardize that. So it's me constantly living on the line of, did I go too far, or was that tasteful, you know? Yeah, I'd say like most of my video inspiration just comes from real life, man. Like literally just every day, I think I'm pretty self-aware in the sense that every time an idea comes, I just pull out my phone and I write it down. So I have probably about like 500 to 1,000 ideas of just, some stuff just doesn't make sense either, but it's just ideas and little writing prompts for me to like continue with the creative mind, right? Toronto is a city like I don't even know. We got so many different cultures and so many different crazy people, good people, that it's almost like a whole TV show. It's almost like a whole sitcom. So ideas never stop like being made, you know what I mean? You just always have to be aware and, keep your eye to those things and kind of decide how you can create that into a skit. That's probably the hardest part. I think we got probably the most supportive group out of everyone else, because like as you can see in the Toronto scene, like we're all collabing on videos all the time. Like I'm not taking any shots at like Toronto rappers or anything like that, but it's that same love isn't kind of seen in a lot of different aspects. For us, I think we all kind of understand the fact that when we make videos together, we grow together, we feed off each other's ideas. Videos that we think were okay end up being better than what they actually were because someone has a better idea than I had. I think that's just the key to everything is it's just collaborating and growing together. I think that slowly is happening for the rappers too, as you can see. So as far as supportive, like we probably have one of the most supportive groups, and I like to think that everyone that I've worked with is actually like a true friend. So I think when it comes to like creative ideas, I see it as kind of like a muscle or like working out, you know? And in that sense, I mean that you can't overwork your muscles, you can't, you know, underdo it and then you won't see the results, right? But at the same time, you have to have discipline. So sometimes I don't have ideas, but like I said, I have a list of ideas to go from, so I can kind of just sit there and try and make something from that. If you overwork your muscles, same way, like if you overwork your ideas, you're gonna eventually burn out. So there's a middle ground between having like the work ethic and the creative juices flowing, you know? So yeah, there's a middle ground. So do I get into a creative rut? Literally all the time. Probably once a month I'll have a creative rut, but I have that discipline and that work ethic to like work through that. And then sometimes you just have to take a break. You know what I mean? Everyone's process is going to be different. I can upload 2 videos a week. Someone can upload a video every 2 weeks. But as long as the quality and the quantity meet somewhere in the middle, then I feel like you have like a good mix, you know? Yeah, like I think the biggest thing right now is you just gotta stop being lazy. Like there's like so many people say that they want to do something and then they just never get around to doing it. So there's really no excuses for you to do what you want. We have phones that you can film 4K footage on. It even has an editor on it. It's like the only thing that's stopping you right now, like, so all you need is the ideas. If you already have that down, there's no excuse for you to be making it. So consistency is key. Don't give up just because your first couple of videos don't go well. Because I've been making this, for one, I've been doing Instagram videos for maybe like a year and a half. It took me probably about 6 months for it to actually start working out. And I'm still trying to make more, you know what I mean? I'm still growing. So the process of that takes so long. And then you just got to look at day by day. You can't look at where am I going to be in a year? Because if you're at 0 followers and you want to get to 1 million in a year, let's say, you're going to be thinking that your mind's going to be blown by thinking about how far you have to go. If you think, okay, let me get 10 followers by next week and then 100 by next month. If you look at it in the small increments, it becomes a little bit more digestible and it becomes a little bit more believable in your head. And then before that, I was making videos in general on YouTube since I was like 10 years old. So I'm heavy in this, man. Like it's just a waiting game, and it's like throwing enough shots up and eventually some are going to sink, you know? Don't be lazy, is my thing. Yeah, so as far as personal brand, I think the whole meaning of that is that it's personal to you. So I don't think there's no longevity in you trying to be somebody else, right? Like I had this issue for a while where I felt like I was kind of being somebody else that I wasn't. And like I felt like I was almost playing a character of Bilal, you know what I mean? And eventually you got to realize that authenticity shows. And I think people can truly understand when you're being fake, and they can understand where you're putting on an act. But when you're being sincere and when you're actually being yourself, that actually gets you farther in the long run. So with Instagram, it's all about you being yourself. It's all about you kind of promoting yourself. You can choose what people want to see. You don't have to let them see the whole insight of your life. Instagram and social media is not everything. It's not everything, you know what I mean? It's like a work. You clock in, you clock out, and you're done, okay? Same way I'll clock in, I'll post a video, I'll engage with it, and then I just set it aside, time for real life. Your personal brand's the same way. Treat it like a job. You can choose what people see, you can choose what people don't see, but the main thing is authenticity and being yourself. I don't think it's that long.
No.
It's a minute video, man. Yeah, it's a minute video. So, like I said, whether or not I have the idea, sometimes I'll go straight from idea to filming it. Most of the time, like I said, I have writing prompts for what I'll do. Me personally, I'm the type of guy who likes to write stuff, so I'll usually write out the script. Because it's a minute, every word is a second, or every word truly does add on to the timing of the video, right? So everything has to be planned. For me personally, that's how I would do it. I know a lot of people who improvise their videos. That's how they work. That's their process. Me, I like to have everything step by step, how I want this line to go, how I want this action to go. I'll kind of have it breaking down to kind of a science of this will be 20 seconds, this will be 30 seconds, et cetera, et cetera. After that, I'll call up my friends. We kind of got like Instagram groups going on, or I have their numbers. I'll hit them up. Then we will usually film about 4 or 5 skits at a time. This might not just be for me. This can be for other people's skits. We just kind of want to make the most out of a day. Like if you're going to come from Scarborough to my ends, then it doesn't make sense just to film 1 hour video and then just dip. You know what I mean? So we try to utilize our time as much as possible. If people are into like the technical aspects of stuff, I use my Sony a6500. I'll shoot that. Sometimes I'll use my iPhone now that I got an iPhone, because people were talking mad stuff when I had my Samsung, so I got my iPhone. I did that. I'll shoot that, bring it into Adobe Premiere. Usually take me around half hour to edit depending on the video. If it's a very heavy effects video, I might have to throw into After Effects, which means that it's going to be a little longer. And then I'll just airdrop it to my phone, and then next thing you know, it's on there. So sometimes I have videos planned out too. So I'll have, for example, right now, I'm pretty much 3 videos ahead of schedule, and then it just kind of builds up. That's in case like I run out of ideas or I become lazy, then at least I have videos ready to go, you know? I'm not even boosting myself. I feel like I've either met or have already worked with the people that I really like to work with. And so if I haven't made a video with them already, then I'm low-key scheming or weaseling my way into making a video with them. I mean, I would love to make a video with Drake or Weeknd or someone of that, of that caliber. And I just don't know what I'd have to do with them. You know what I mean? I like to collaborate with a lot of rappers, but it has to be a video where it's tasteful enough where both parties kind of are pleased with the product, you know? So, yeah. For favorite video, like I like the things with a lot of people in it. So I feel like why This Is Canada is so good is because I probably had like 12 people and it was all one shot and we were all synchronized dancing. Like it almost seemed like some Broadway or like musical type thing. So I'd say anything of that caliber. I really like the Toronto National Geographics where like we kind of treat Toronto men as animals, which I really like. As for work, anything that you see like heavy effects on, I did one video where it was like inside my mind and there's like multiple Bilals and I had like green screen and we were all kind of going crazy. That took long to edit. And then also I did one when the York University strike was happening. I kind of made like a desolate land where it's like Armageddon and it's like I had York signs on fire. That was difficult to do. Anything where it's a lot of effects, that's probably the hardest. My favorite ones though are the ones where it's not even relying on the effects. It's relying more so on the talent and the way we planned out the choreography. What would you say? Choreography, yeah. Man, like my whole thing, for one, I don't know plan-wise what's next for me per se. I know for a fact that I want to do bigger projects. So whether or not that's acting, doing like commercials, doing television shows, once again, knock on wood that I can land that stuff. I want to be doing more of that. I want to make a web series. I want to do merch. I feel like for me, I can't get caught in a rut of doing one thing all the time because like I just don't think I'm that type of guy. I'm the type of guy who kind of wants to move on and do different things that kind of challenge me. So what's next for me, man? I just want to be happy, man, and I just want to be making money doing the things I love. So just watch out for me, you know what I mean? I'll see what I'll do. You never know. I'm unexpected. You might You might see me for things that I did well, and you might see me for things I did bad, but at least it'll be on, you know? You know what? It's pretty simple. Bilal Dawson on Instagram, Bilal Don Dawson on Twitter, and YouTube, Bilal Dawson. So it's simple. Just type in the name in any search engine, and then there you go. Okay. Dope. Do I talk fast? Okay, all right. Because that's what I'm saying. I can ramble for time.